And we are live. Welcome, everybody, to the Pontiac Power Hour. I am Buff from Buff's Garage.
I'm Ray from Punisher Lemans Garage.
And we are continuing all of the special December Christmas fun with more guests. And as you guys saw when you came in, we obviously have a very special guest. I'm going to bring him in just a moment. But first off, I want to tell everybody, thank you for supporting me this week. It has been a very long week. I just got back from Texas, literally at 3 o'clock this morning, and I couldn't have done it without you guys. I went with just the cash in my pocket, hopped a bus, made it all the way to Texas, and picked up a car that hadn't ran in 3 years and drove it home. So I couldn't have done it without you guys. You guys helped pay the whole way to get back. So I appreciate it, guys.
So how was your drive in that car? Did you get the goldfish out of the floorboard? Or?
Yeah, we definitely fished the various things out of the floorboard and standing water. But it's going to be a project, and that's why it's on the channel. Is we're going to do a lot of work to get it back to what it should be. That was the whole point of it.
Yeah, those are cool cars though. So
yeah.
And right now you have a very good investment going on.
Yes, because between the car being donated and you guys helping pay my way back, I'm pretty much broke even now on it. So Dakota asked, does it have enough power? The answer is, I don't know. If I put too much power to it, the transmission acts up. So we'll get to it. But without further ado, I want to welcome Kevin from JunkyardDigs.
All right, let's get this.
How's it going?
Hello, Kevin.
How are you guys?
Howdy, sir.
Seems like a hat backwards situation.
Absolutely. So what do you got going on, Kevin? I know you're always a busy guy.
Oh boy, it is an hour. That is an hourly question that changes every hour. Today was a 78 Mustang 2 that we bought. That was some guy 17, 20 years ago, something like that. Drove it, blew it up, and was going to put a motor in it. And then, one thing leads to another on every project. And he, 17 years later, was sick of it. He had a bolt that kind of got stripped out on the timing cover, and he was done. So it got put on Marketplace with a picture of a car just surrounded by parts all the way around it. And in that pile, I saw a supercharger and some other good stuff. Oh. And the car was a V8 with a T5 already. So I said, I'll give you guys $4,000 for it. That's $2,500 supercharger. There's a whole Mustang 2 with a V8 and a T5. Yeah, that's worth it. Oh, like, sure. So we went and picked it up, and it's been sitting in my yard until this week. We brought it down here, pulled everything out of it, and now we're finishing up putting it together. How to put a whole interior in it, get it running, do plug wires, fix the bolt and timing cover. We put an axle. It came with an axle. You can fit an axle, a whole second interior, and all the parts you've ever needed for a Mustang 2 in a Mustang 2. Fun fact. So now it's got T5, 302, and 373 posi.
Wow.
So this should be fun. The supercharger's on the shelf for something else, but that's what we're up to today.
Awesome.
It ought to run pretty good. I'm guessing hatchback.
Yes. Yep.
All right.
It's the same green as Mook's truck, but then they must have taken it to a Mako or something because now it's like Crayola green. It's terrible.
Oh, wow.
If AutoZone made an accessory or eBay made a chrome accessory, it's on that car. Double bladed chrome wiper blades, 7-inch spiked lug nuts, all of it.
That's
It's
nice.
terrible.
Does it have Type R on the trunk or anything like that?
No, oddly enough, no.
That's surprising.
It needs some Buick portholes down the side.
Yeah.
It does.
Maybe they fell off. Honestly, I don't
Yeah.
understand why they weren't there.
Well, I'm going to hit up the chat real quick, guys. Starting out, Josette, she's a new channel member, so thank you for joining up. I got Leighton Welding, Tim Windsor, Outfits Garage. Wow, we got a lot of people here tonight wanting to see Kevin. Jay from Irish Outlaw Garage, Pure Pontiac Garage, Nathan's Mopars, Alan's Cars and Stuff, Danny Boyd. Wow, lots of people. Colleen Tebow, Cousin Mike.
Old Dalton's in there. I see him flying around.
Yep, he was live just before this.
Oh, that's right.
Jeff, yep. Mr. Polo, we got Jeff from Two Hacks. Oh, yeah. I'm learning a lot from Dalton. I'm learning if you have a certain expectation on a car, just lower that expectation and, it'll be fine. Dudes with Wrenches. Just so you guys know, Dudes with Wrenches will be our guest next week. He decided to join us for the Christmas specials. Chad from Square Body Stuff, Ben Porter. Wow, we got a lot of new people. Hey, Jared Cooper, nice to see you, buddy. I'm not going to get through them all. We got Canada. We've got New Zealand. We got Australia. We got a little bit of everybody in here. Very cool.
I'm going to share it as well.
So, Kevin, I think it'd be really cool if you got your 68 Le Mans with Dalton's Holy Goat. Those two cars belong together.
That and Mook's Burnt Nova.
Yes, the Burnt Nova.
Yes.
So I just want to address that. We originally had planned for Kevin and Mook to be on. Mook wasn't feeling good tonight. So Kevin is picking up all the slack for her.
That's where most of the work's done. I'm the face, It's all Mook.
Now
He
I
definitely brings a different value,
Yeah. More chaos.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that would be. We've talked for a while to bring the Holy Goat, Le Mans together, and then obviously Mook's Nova as well, because the Nova and the Holy Goat are their own kind of level of just. I don't know what kind of language we can use on this channel, but just really bad.
Yes.
Le Mans is like, it started as that, where it was just rolled or smashed into a ball, and we straightened it out, and then it oddly evolved as the channel grew. It evolved into something that's now a full QA1 car with a 9-inch rear and a roll cage, and the seats in the car are probably the most expensive part. I think I paid like $1,500 or $1,800 for the seats, but I knew I'd spend a lot of time in it, so I wanted something comfortable. But it was supposed to be a gambler car was the build, and in the end it turned out to be like our exhibition pavement pounding car. So I don't know how that happened, but everyone's like, go drive it to the woods. I'm like, no, I like it too much. I don't
Right.
like it.
I'm not gonna lie. When I first seen you guys starting that, I'm like, oh no, don't do that to a Le Mans. And then now I'm like, Stone Buff was like, I got to find a Le Mans because I really want to build something like that.
GM body is the platform to do it. I had said, I'm like, I want to build something on off-road tires. It needs to be a frame car. It needs to have readily available parts all over the country. It needs to be cheap to build. What is that? Frame car, cheap to build, lots of parts, lots of availability. That's a GMA body. Where the hell am I going to find a GMA body that's in rough shape? And I thought about that for like a week. Then I went, oh, there's literally a Pontiac Le Mans out back. And that's how it started. After,
and that's when I saw the car, with all of your different builds that you do, the rescues and everything, I thought, where's he going to go with this? And when you pull out the big wheels and tires, I was like, all right, I'm in. I'm 100% in. I love this car.
Yeah, it turned out really well. Mook did all the license plates. She helped me design some of the visual aspects of it. And It dawned on me the other day because I had to go pick up some parts that I left at a company. We were supposed to like vacuum form recast the door panels as plastic. And it dawned on me the other day, like we've been driving this car for 2 years and we never actually finished it. It was just like thrown together for the thing in Des Moines and then thrown back together after we blew it up, thrown back together for the stuff in Minneapolis with QA1. And then we did power tour with it after a few more fixes. And we're like, well, shoot, it's done 3,000 miles now. It must be done. I never did do any of the interior. Like there's some aspects that we just never touched on that car, but it's just so good that I love that car, that era of GM. It's if the world was just F100s and A bodies, it'd still be a pretty okay world.
Oh, I'd be down for that.
Yep.
I happen to love A bodies myself. I too have one.
Yep.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite cars.
Not me. I got the old B body, big old honking 63 Grand Prix. I have a thing for Grand Prix apparently, but I won't put my Grand Prix in your Grand Prix because that's just, that's destruction 101 right there.
Sounds like you have one that's lining up for it perfectly.
Free car, supercharged. I think it'd be perfect, but the guy gave it to me so that I wouldn't tear it up and actually fix it up. So
no, that's fair. That's fair. Well, if you need parts, I don't know where you guys are in relation to us. Probably a long ways away. That it doesn't make sense. But I've got like 7 of them in the woods.
I'm about an hour from Dalton.
Oh, so you're only 6 hours from me.
Correct.
Depending on which direction, north or south.
I'm just a little bit west of Dalton.
Yeah, you're about 6 hours. Wait, that's where that's by like Topeka, right? Silver Lake.
Yes. Yep.
That's where the Goldsmobile came from.
I know. I tried to hit you up on your channel, but I had like 5 subscribers when I did. I was like, "Hey, you guys are close."
It was all filmed prior. By the time we got home, it was all done anyway. So
yeah, I knew better, but it's always fun to see somebody in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, that was a wild time. Someone sent me that on, I think, Messenger. They got a hold of me and they're like, "Hey, there's this car for sale," or it might have been an email. I'm like, "Oh," and I don't remember who it was. I probably stopped responding to him in the panic that I was buying the Goldsmobile. So if that guy's out there, I'm sorry. I probably never answered you for 3 years, but I still appreciate sending that along. But yeah, we bought that. It was supposed to be $1,000, and we bought it sight unseen. Got into a bidding war and got it for $3,500. And then, like while we were down there, or somewhere along the story, the guy we were bidding against saw it. And he's like, "Oh, I was the one that was trying to buy it from you," or like against you. He's like, I'm glad you guys got it. But it was crazy how many people around that Silver Lake, Topeka area were like, I think we had 2 or 3 stop in person. Like, I know who you idiots are out there working in 113 degrees heat in a storage unit in August.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a hot spot down there for cars.
That's a sweet. Now that's Mook's car now, right?
The second, there's 2 golden 72 Cutlass S's.
Oh, okay.
The one we just did is hers now, correct? The one from 2 years ago, I think it was 2020. That one is my dad's, so I've kept none of them actually. I do, however, have a 70 Cutlass S that's never been on the channel. It was a power tour car for 2019. It's on Pontiac Garage. Is like the only spot on YouTube you can see it. It's green.
Yeah, Dalton, Oldsmobiles are almost as good as Pontiac. They're really close. I love Oldsmobiles. I think they're awesome.
Mine goes Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, then Chevy. Like A body wise, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I gotta put Buick on top.
Well, it depends on the Buick. I guess if it's a 70 Buick
Oh,
GS,
yeah. There you go. Yeah.
That's the dream car right there.
The GS Stage 1.
7.
I would love to have a GS Stage 1. That's also a dream car of mine. It'd have to be yellow and black because that's iconic. But
I'm torn. I've seen this exact. I didn't know this was even a real paint scheme, but I saw this one in person once at a consignment dealership because this has been on my dresser since I was like 7 years old, and I absolutely love this car. And then I saw one in person. I was like, oh god! And they wanted like I think they only wanted like 25 grand, but this was a few years ago when I had no money. Not that I could even afford that now, but yeah, this. So I love the yellow and black, but that one is so unique and uncommon that I'd be torn. It'd definitely be a clone. There's no way in hell I'm going to buy a real one.
Right.
Yeah.
That's Mook. Her dream car is a 69 GTO, and she insists on having a real GTO, which is ungodly expensive to buy a shell and then rebuild a real GTO.
Well, I mean, unless it's full of bullet holes, and then
It's true.
those are cheap. Yep.
Chris from 323 Fab has one. You should hit him up.
Oh, he does.
It would be a project.
Yeah, Dalton's got his info too. 323 Fabrication.
Chris, 323.
Yep.
Someone bug him about it for me because I'm gonna forget.
Yeah,
Oh,
we got his info. Yep. We'll get him.
Sweet, I appreciate that.
All right. So we talked a little bit about the, Project Smoky. You made it into a gambler build. I remember it had a bit of an engine knot going on, and then of course you went to Power Tour. So where's that car now?
It is in my garage, waiting for winter to be over. Oh, Mook's in here.
Mook, welcome.
Mook, get a hold of this guy. He's
got
got
23
I
Fabrication.
don't know when she hopped in. No, the Le Mans is just like it was after that Power Tour, minus another whole set of rear tires. It has fried off its third set now in like 3,500 miles, but it's been sitting inside in the dry air of not winter in Iowa.
Right.
Wait for next summer to come around. I didn't do Power Tour with it this year because I took the AMC that I bought on Power Tour. We didn't drive it a ton, which I was ashamed of because it's sad. But it was a hot summer up here, so it was
For sure.
the Le Mans is a sweat box. There's no interior, there's no ceiling, I've got heat wrap on the bottom of the floor, and the whole thing's like sealed underneath, so that helps. But it is not a comfortable vehicle to be in based on temperature.
Exactly.
It's fun.
If you shoot a lot of holes in it, like the Holy Goat, it has ventilation.
Get some ventilation going. You have to do them at a certain angle so you get like a turbulent flow.
Right.
You got to shoot one side from the front, the other one from the rear.
So I rode in the back seat of the Holy Goat, and the bullet holes coming in from the roof at an angle. It's like having a vent, like right on your face. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's a special car.
The AMC did have area. That was a treat.
Yeah, that I would think with the heat this summer, like I'm, in Kansas and 105 with humidity, it was unbearable. I can't imagine Power Tour trying to do that.
Yeah, it was rough. We did last. Mook, correct me if I'm wrong, but 2021 when we did. Yeah, 21 when we did it with the Le Mans. It wasn't a terrible summer. It was a pretty okay one. This summer was probably the hottest I've been to, which is it has to fight for that title versus 2017, the first long haul we did. That was brutal in the Wildcat. 7 days. It was back when it was a 7-day event, and we did a ton of miles in a car that had 100 miles on it, and I didn't know nearly the amount of stuff I knew now. So we were just kind of hoping for the best. We only lost a fuel pump, but it was a very hot year. I think this year I might have beat it. And the only way I'm not certain of that is because I had a little bit of AC all week. I had to put like 4 cans of Freon in it, but we won't tell the EPA about that.
No, that's a blessing right there. Yeah.
Is it
you could just knock
too?
about?
No, it was someone had converted to 134.
Oh, perfect.
I didn't do any of it right. I didn't vacuum the system down. I just dumped a can in.
Keep adding in. Yep. Keep adding in.
Every 2 days, I'd put another can in.
Well,
I mean, that's what the rest of us do normally. So, yeah, we won't.
I usually don't even have enough to even. It's not even worth putting a can in. This was
right.
I think that's the first classic car I've ever owned that had working air conditioning, and it was an AMC, so it was working air conditioning.
I got a soft spot for AMCs. They're on my top 5 list.
I do like a good, for some reason, it's the best part to me is the parts sourcing is so easy, yet sometimes a little difficult, because if you worked on a lot of stuff, you can look at it and be like, oh, that's a GM power steering pump, Ford alternator,
Yep.
Ford solenoid, Ford starter, Ford ignition system, GM master cylinder, GM this or that,
Yep.
Jeep AC components, Jeep radiator, Jeep motor, Chrysler transmission. It's all of it's used from other cars. So, and they're usually far more popular cars because there was a lot of them made, which is why they had an overstock that AMC bought. So it's great road trip cars because they get good mileage because they have no power. And finding parts is pretty easy because everyone, like, it's actually with this Mustang too. The other day I realized another part in our Eagles and everything is like the glove box release is stolen out of a Mustang too. And all the shift levers for the Eagles on the floor are from like an early Fox body Mustang for the automatics.
The first CJ5 Jeep I worked on, I was, you go to the parts store and you're like, I'm working on a Jeep CJ, and they're just like, oh boy, because I think every one of them had different parts. It all
Do you
depended
have
on what
the
you
Ford
played.
brakes or the Chevy brakes?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
We've
But-
had ones that are 1 year off. Like the two Eagles are 1 year off, and one had a Ford master cylinder, and the other one had a Chevy master cylinder. We're like, wow, that is months apart.
That's crazy.
It's almost as bad as Mopar at that point. You don't know what day, what what month, what color,
Constant
which guy put it
changes.
on. Yeah,
That's why I don't.
it's crazy.
That and the fact that there's none around here are the reasons I don't touch them. And the price.
Right.
Stupid expensive.
That's the great thing about working on GM though, is pretty much all the parts will interchange on most of them, like Pontiac, Buick. Like if you're working on a Buick, parts will interchange. You're working on a Pontiac,
Yeah,
of course.
you just stay brand specific, but everything behind that flywheel, behind that bell housing is pretty much all the same. It's either bop or non-bop.
Yeah. So what's next for the Le Mans? You doing anything else with it?
I don't know. I do have, there is another Buick motor in the shop that's supposed to be around a 500 horse motor that might go in it someday. Might save it for the GS. I don't know. I mean, it's easy enough. You just put pistons and a cam in it, and that should be about 500. So I finally found a crank like last month. A fan locally had a crank for sale that I bought off of him, as we've been looking to replace the one we wiped when we first took the car out for its debut.
Yeah, those Buicks run really well. I had a 455 Buick in a Monte Carlo. I've always done weird stuff. Like I can't keep anything normal. I'm a 500 Caddy and a Pontiac, or just like it's whatever I got laying around.
That's what I did with that, because I wanted to. It's like I'm gonna build a Frankenstein car for this gambler thing, and I knew a guy that was selling a 455 driveline for $750, and it was a rebuilt driveline that just been he buys them all for derby cars. So he's got big blocks, weird big blocks everywhere for like $700. So I bought from fan to transmission output shaft for $750, and it was all brand new 30 over motor, basically, that had maybe a few hours on it, and we dropped it in that car. And I like the Buicks because it had the external oil pump of a Mopar that if something ever went wrong, I just put a new oil pump on. It had the distributor up front like a Ford, which is amazing, and the way they should all be. And then it was a GM, so it had all the GM parts availability and GM transmission options, and plugged right into that car, no problem. So it was they're a little weird. They are expensive to buy parts for performance stuff, but I love it. It was a good motor.
All right, so if you guys haven't caught it, Kevin hosted the Grand Prix this last year. That was quite the event. Other people putting on these large scale events, not mentioning channel names, there's just something about, back in the woods, all out free for all in Grand Prix. So if you haven't checked it out, got to go check it out. It's awesome. But my question to you is, what's the future of the Grand Prix?
I've been told I'm not allowed to host it at our house anymore, so I don't know. I don't know if there will be another one or not. From what it sounds like, there won't. But I would like, if ideally we ran out a racetrack maybe somewhere and make it a public event. It won't be the road course, rally course. That rally course is probably honestly more accurate. It won't be the rally course that it was in the cornfield. But maybe we could do a oval track somewhere and invite the public out and do a whole thing with all of their favorite YouTubers. Who knows? Like it's like the Cletus McFarland events, but we actually get invited to them.
Right. That's I wasn't going to go that route, but
So Dalton says he'll host it.
You got a cornfield?
He has woods.
He's got some space.
That guy's not in Minnesota anymore, by the way. I'm the only north. Am I the furthest north? There's probably car people above us that are YouTubers.
Oh yeah, up in Canada, there's a few.
Oh yeah, those don't count.
Yeah, they don't count.
They're in South Canada. I'm in Northern America.
Right.
I'm in the middle of the country, so.
I came from Alaska, so that's way north.
Well, I live in town, unfortunately, so I gotta not do that.
Hey, ugly truck experiences.
Dalton said he has a field, so we'll pile up all the Grand Prix, or anytime he's up here, I'll just stick him in one and send him down there so they all get down there. I think they're all dead, pretty much, honestly.
I just might need a transmission for one.
Reese's hand gets frostbite.
Yeah, Shopcat's from Canada. He's a pretty cool dude.
I just don't think I could live somewhere where it's that cold and you get that much snow.
There's no snow here. Not this year, not last year. So I'm okay with that. Well, hell, we did revivals all the way through the winter last year.
I watched some of yours. I'm like, oh, they're gonna smack their hand and it's gonna hurt me.
Is Dudes with Wrenches in Iowa?
Yes, I believe he is. Yes.
I recently accidentally clicked on YouTube Shorts for the first time and came across a few of his. And I was like, hey, I kind of like this.
Yep. He went from, like, whenever I first saw him, he had about, 300 or 400 subs, and he skyrocketed just because of his little shorts he does. They're really good.
DWW, where are you at in Iowa? Unless you don't, if you don't want to say in the chat, just message me on Instagram. I think I tried to find him there last time. There's another.
He's definitely on Instagram.
There is. Let me find him. There is a surprising number of influencers and whatnot from the Midwest, and then there's like a weird number in Iowa. And maybe it's just that I see more of them because I'm up here.
Oh no, there's a lot.
Within Ames area, there's me, Luke. Our buddy Steve that runs Skunk River Restorations. There's 2 or 3 large gaming channels called Corn Star. Quick Performance is in here. Anything Scout is all in Ames. This is all within one city. That branches out a little bit, but it's a weird number of stuff in this area. And I thought growing up my whole life, there's nothing in Iowa, but apparently I was wrong.
Cows and cornfields.
And YouTubers. So there you go.
Well, there's a bunch in Missouri too. Well, we have our own famous Dalton, but I'm like way down on the list. Not. I keep telling my wife, I'm like, I got 1,000 subs now. I'm practically Mr. Beast. She's like, no, you're not.
No, you're not. Yeah, and then you got Chad from Square Body Stuff. He just got to 15. There he is, right there.
He messaged me already. I see it. He just says soap.
Yep.
Oh, now I'm an asshole. He messaged me in June and I never saw it.
Oh no.
All right. I get so many of these a day. You don't even understand.
Roy Boy has it right. Missouri. It's Missouri. That depends on how far down in the Ozarks you go. Down in the Boot Hill there. It's how Missouri is pronounced.
Yeah. I actually thought that was really funny one time talking to Dalton. I'm like, I'm not trying to do this to get famous or anything. I just want to have something fun to do on the side. And Dalton says, nope, I'm doing this to be famous. That's what I'm doing it for.
I waited my whole life to be called Famous Dalton. It's happened now. You can retire. Dalton, what are you going to do next now that you've met your life goals?
Right.
What's after this?
Well, I told him that if it starts snowing soon, which I hope it doesn't, but if it does, there has to be an intro on Pole Barn Garage of one of us pulling the other one on a sled past the camera really fast, doing something stupid.
I have a story about that. Hang on one second. John, are you in here? No. I can add to this. Hey, John, are you out there? Come here. I need you to tell a story. I have a guest of my own here, so we can
awesome. We
can triangulate this or whatever they want to say. I've been telling Pole Barn if it snows, he needs to buy a snowmobile and come up here and do a $500 snowmobile challenge this winter.
I'm in.
Did you get a sled yet, Dalton?
Yeah. Okay, so Iowa, it's still snowmobile or sled.
Yeah.
I know in Alaska we call it snow machine. So where's that cutoff at?
Probably like.
Did he just say snow machine?
It's not.
Yeah.
That. It's
no. Hey,
here.
Come on. I know he knows snow machine. I know you know snow machine.
Snow machine.
These guys mentioned they wanted to get pulled behind a vehicle or something, and that reminded me of the story you told the other day.
Oh yeah.
So John is a cop in Quad Cities.
Oh boy.
I'll let it go from there.
Yeah. So,
Golden Rust or bust.
I pull over a vehicle and I'm talking to the person, and they have this weird like face. They're like kind of like I know this guy from somewhere. And I go back to the car, and then I go back to the squad car, and then go back to the car. They're like, are you from Golden Rust or Bust? Are you from JunkyardDigs? I'm like, yeah, I am. He's like, I can't believe that I'm getting pulled over by a guy who got pulled behind a car in a cardboard box in the snow. And I was like, yeah, that's me. That's me. I did that. Yeah. So, but yeah, snow machine is not right. It's snowmobile.
That's just what Alaska called it. I figured there's a cutoff line somewhere before Canada.
This guy got pulled over illegally by our comedic relief.
Yeah.
So I think it's hilarious because after watching your channel, I would have never guessed you're a cop, but that's awesome. So thank you for your service.
Yeah, no problem. So,
get back to work.
Okay.
No, he's screwing out there. He happened to be in the area for the day.
That's awesome.
Oh, you got another?
You need another?
I'll take another.
Hey, Megan.
You guys need a beer? I'd hand you one. I'll email you a beer.
I forgot my water in the other room, so I don't even have anything to drink. I'm
no.
In here.
So I went ahead and tagged his channel as well. It's Golden Rust or Bust, and
thank you, sir.
While he lost the mullet, the content's still good.
The content is still good. The mullet was.
Mullet back. I miss my mullet.
We would kill for the mullet, but the cops say you can't ride in a cardboard box and have a mullet and expect people to pay tickets.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
Very true. All right.
Please tell me he has a third-gen Camaro.
Did you have a third-gen Camaro? You don't.
I got an 81 Mustang.
Close enough. Close enough.
A Fox and a Mustang, too.
I do have a Mustang.
And, like, a plethora of not snow machines.
Darren Wyatt, it depends. So if you're talking about the river, it is Arkansas River until you cross the border, and then it's Arkansas River. It's a stupid Kansas thing.
A stupid Kansas.
You don't want to say Arkansas and Arkansas. They get very offended.
Oh, yeah. So,
And we have some Arkansas guys that watch our show, so they may hop in here in a minute. I think Leighton and Big Block 402 is both from Arkansas.
Yep. Ed's Machine, several of them. So we got a lot of good people in the chat, a lot of new people. So thank you guys for joining in from wherever you came from. I know some of you guys are following Kevin. Some of you are following Pole Barn Garage. Even more, we're watching Dallas from AHRA and his channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe and the like so we can, come back next week with Dudes with Wrenches. And then we also have a special Christmas episode coming up. We're not going to reveal who's coming yet, but you're going to like it.
It's me again. I'm kidding.
Hey, we will have you back, Kevin, anytime, buddy.
I'll be back.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
I'll let other people get in there, but I'll pop around.
All right. So, Kevin, out of your entire fleet, we kind of know Mook's favorite, but what's your favorite vehicle? And I'm talking everything. You guys, from the lawnmower cart to the, to the, what was the golf cart with the ridiculous golf. Out of everything you got, what's your favorite?
These are hard questions. I've got.
Well, I didn't mean to make them hard. I just.
The Le Mans is definitely on the top of the list, somewhere up there, but they're all different for favorite reasons. The Le Mans is kind of like an attention-grabbing, tire-destroying machine. I've got some Fox bodies, or I have a Fox body that I use to daily that was just a really cheap beater that actually came from Kansas, and it was fun as hell. It's been needing work, so it's been sitting for 2 years, but that one's a favorite because it runs great, or ran great, rode great, and was still fast, which the Le Mans isn't really fast. But then we've also got cars that are just like favorites because they're like my 73 Torino that's never made it on. Excuse me, it's never made it on the channel yet. Is one of my favorites because it's just turn the key and float down the road for an indiscriminate amount of miles with no problems. So they're favorites for different reasons. And like the Eagle is also another favorite because it's ridiculous. And the fact that it's pretty much totally normal. It's lifted like an inch or two, but it gets more attention. We get more compliments on the Eagle than we do the Le Mans or any other car, probably combined. I could drive the Eagle to a gas station or a grocery store, and I've won money on betting on this. Someone will materialize from nowhere and say, and then quote, "Wow, I haven't seen one of those since the 80s." Every time. Doesn't matter where you go, someone will say that. And
you almost need a bumper sticker just for that car. It says, "Wow, I haven't seen one of these since the 80s."
Let me guess. You haven't seen one of these since the 80s.
Yep. And what's crazy is, 2 years ago, I was seeing them pop up everywhere for cheap.
And now,
you guys started doing, and I'm not saying you guys
did
it, but
it's still early enough. You can still find them cheap once in a while. If you
look what Dalton just did, build one off the scrap pile.
Cam Racing, I think, Kale is his name. He's got one too.
Is it Eagle?
It may be. And then
I know he's an AMC guy and he gave me an AMC sticker, but I don't. Now that I think of it, I don't even know what AMC he has. I'm gonna bug him about it.
Yeah, Dalton, the Eagle's a chick magnet, and he says never the good ones. Well, sometimes you get what you get.
Dudes with Wrenches messaged me in the
awesome
area message.
He's pretty good dude. Like, not only is his content good, but he's just a all around good guy.
Austin from LaCour. He wants to build a Hellcat AMC, and I think he needs to.
Well, so he's going the next step. Like I just did that revive and drive where, the subscribers basically funded my trip to go down and back, which is awesome, by the way. And he's trying to do the same thing with that Hellcat Eagle, get the subscribers to help, obviously with maybe sponsorships and stuff. But I can't imagine what that's even going to cost.
Yeah, I don't know. If it's not a 4-wheel drive, it'll be different. But 4-wheel drive is a problem because they mount the differential in an Eagle to the engine block, which means you have to have a 4.2 or have
Right.
a 4-liter and drill out the side for that bolt. Or I've seen someone do a small block Chevy and they made like a plate that went between the engine and the trans. That was what they mounted their front differential to, and I'm sure it probably exploded as soon as they put power to it.
Absolutely.
They live forever because they can't hurt themselves at all. They make the Concorde I took on Power Tour seemed even a little more sluggish than the Eagle. I think it might have had even, I didn't know it was possible, but I think it had worse than like a 2.5 gear ratio. Right. Yeah, I think the Eagle's high too, so I could be wrong, but it probably had a 2.5 in the Concorde. And we were driving it, and all the time it's always in high gear. It always just goes right to third and just spends its whole day there. And the whole time I'm like driving it for a week all through these boohoo buckaroo BFE roads down in Tennessee. Like there weren't radio stations for 3 days. We were out there. There wasn't even AM radio stations. But we're doing all this driving, and I estimate that this car it's getting good mileage, even with the AC on. It's getting like 22. But I'm like, I think this feels like 80 horsepower. Feels like about 80 horse. We put it on the dyno, and I didn't really want to bring the wheel speed up to like 110 to test the full RPM. So we put it in second, and we run it out to, I think we ran it out to like $7,000 because I didn't have a tack. And the tire noise on the drum was 3 or 4 times louder than the engine.
Wow.
And at idle and up until the wheel speed was up, the fan blowing across it was louder than the engine. I've never heard the engine in that car. It might be electric. I don't know. But we bring it up to, I think, $7,000, and it made 120 horsepower. I'm like, that's not right. There's no way. We got to do it in high gear because that's what it drives around in. Stick it in third. Brought it to like $7,000 or $8,000. I could finally hear it a little bit. It's like, ooh, she's buzzing. 88 horsepower. No wonder it lives forever. It can't hurt itself. It drives around at 80 or less horsepower every day. It's immortal.
Yep. It's crazy. All right. So my big question, Kevin, is I know you got a lot going on. I don't know what you guys got planned for the year, other than I assume you guys are going to get married this year. Congratulations, by the way.
It is an assumption. We got to plan it. I think that's the second time I've been asked about that today. It's like, when's your wedding? Like,
she hasn't told me
we had
yet.
a couple years to figure that out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's
maybe.
the plans for the Junkyard Digs channel this year?
So for the channel, there's like long-term goals. Like someday I would like to do this, but most of our stuff's like, I'm doing this next week. And right now, next week, spoiler alert for anyone that's here gets this little spoiler alert. I am going to California. This was all decided like yesterday. I'm going to go back out to Donut Media and help Nolan finish his car, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
And while I'm in California, obviously, I should probably get something from California because it's not Iowa. And I found a 70 Ford Country Squire wagon.
Oh, yes.
With like the same hood as like a 68 Galaxy with the hump hood. It's in great shape. It's got a 351 Windsor, FMX, runs and drives, $3,000.
Does it have wood grain?
No.
But it's California car, so
It's not that one. It's the better looking one. It is potentially less common. I don't know. I saw it and I was like, oh, that's it. That's coming home with me. Am I going to drive 27 hours or ship it? I don't know.
right.
We'll get to that. Let's see.
Shout out to Landom Custom Classics for becoming a channel member. Thank you, sir.
That one. That's a potential future thing. And I say that as in, I'd like to have that out next week. It might be 4 years. We'll see.
Those are definitely cool. I like those a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody's saying drive it. They want you to drive it.
It doesn't have reverse.
Well, so that's kind of a, when, like for me, I jump on a bus and go and drive this car. It hasn't moved in years. Yeah, what the heck, surely it's going to run and drive. And it did. Dalton, of course, will pretty much drive anything with wheels.
That's true. I've seen it.
Yep, you just got to lower the expectations. That's what it is.
Well, you're going to be out in California, so you're going to have to channel your inner roadkill guys out there.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll just
What would roadkill do?
up and get the roadkill guys to help me.
there you go. See if Freiberger's around.
That's
All
fine.
right.
I don't remember what part he's in. Dalton, if I make it, do I come through Kansas City? I got to Google it again. I know I have to go through Las Vegas again. Ugh.
Oh.
I hate that place.
So you taking Route 66 back, 40?
Ooh, that's an idea.
I'm just thinking time of year versus going north, but you're used to the
The
snow.
other problem is if I go up through like Utah and Colorado, I don't know what the snow is like.
Right. That was my only thought.
27 hours.
You know, if you got Mook with you, you guys are going through Vegas. You could just cure the whole wedding thing right there.
We're actually just in Vegas for SEMA. I have no desire. I've been saying all month. I have absolutely no desire to ever go to that place again. And now it looks like I get to drive through it again.
Yay.
You know what? It's an hour further to go through Phoenix, across all of New Mexico, through the Chimney, Oklahoma City, right through Wichita, right through Kansas City, and then right past Dalton and into home.
Well, if you
Cool.
come near Joplin, Missouri,
I will not be. Where is Joplin?
It's going to be in the southwest corner of Missouri. And if you're coming up through Wichita, then you're going to catch 35. And
It's 35 by Emporia.
yep, I'm actually 20 minutes from 35, and that's how I hop on and go over to.
Well, shit.
where Dalton's at.
We'll get beers there, and then I'll go to Dalton's and we'll get beers there.
I'll just meet you at Dalton's.
yeah,
Let's
that's
do that one.
We'll do
just
sketchy stuff there. We'll blow something up there.
Like his car again. We'll shoot it some more.
Yes.
Is he still in the chat with?
Oh yeah, he's still here.
You want to run south for sure. That's kind of what I'm thinking because I don't really want to go through the mountain pass in a car that when I spin into the ditch, I can't back out of because it doesn't have reverse.
Right.
I'll buy the Tannerite. There we go. It's a plan. I'm going south.
It's all right. Stand by one. All right. So one thing that we like to do on our channel is we like to end our 1 hour show with a little bit of Pontiac trivia. And, we got a little bit of everything. I even stumped Steve Maggs a couple weeks ago. So that was kind of fun. The knower of all things. Let's see here. So what we do is we read off our trivia, and then these guys kind of answer in the chat, and our trivia is sponsored by Super Clean. So, Kevin, if you send me you got a P.O. box, right?
I do.
Yeah, I got it. I'm pretty sure. That works. Super Clean will send you a prize pack for being our guest today. So thank you for that.
Do I have to win first?
No.
Oh.
If you're a guest, you get it for free.
I feel like a celebrity for once. All
right.
I feel fancy now.
There you go.
What's going on with you?
Umbrella in your beard. You're good. Okay, so first question, guys, is on that 68 Pontiac Lemans, what is the numeric code that signifies a 355 rear end gear?
I would have never won the prize back. Already.
Is it A, G80? I always like to throw G80 in there, so you never know. B, WHC GV5, or D, ZK? Wow, they're already answering too. It looks like everybody's going to pole barns. There you go.
Get the Grand Prix.
I'll be bringing a Grand Prix, one of my two.
Dalton, I would say we should throw a thanks, Kevin. Let's invite everyone. Throw a whole yard party, but it's probably going to be like 28 degrees.
Yep. Well, here's the thing. We've already figured out how to light the, Roadrunner on fire. So we'll just put it out there and stand around it as it burns.
Oh. I'd be impressed if you could burn a car made of exclusively metal. But I'd still watch you try.
We set it on fire. That was good enough. Oh my gosh, so many answers. We got A and C and
Seeing a
it's
lot
just
of
all of-
C.
Yep. Well, let's see. The answer is B. WH.
Right.
See? Kevin knows what he's talking
Right.
about. So there's a lot of different codes designating the 355 rear end depending on the car. But in 1968, the code for that car was WH, which gave you the 355 at a 39 to 11 tooth count. So just random little stuff. All right. Next question. The Pontiac Lemans was named for the famous race. Who won that race in 1968? Was it A, Shelby and Miles, B, Ix and Oliver, C, Rodriguez and Bianchi, or D, McLaren and Amon?
See, they all got to Google stuff like cheaters.
Yeah. But look, people are on it right now. Hunter says D.
Yeah, they're already on top of it.
Doug says B. Oh, yeah, they're just all over the place. Jay from Irish Outlaw, he's going with McLaren.
Seeing a lot of D. Oh, there's some A's, a couple C's.
Yeah, it's really fun to watch all the different interactions. Mongrel's going to go C. So the Google machine has kicked in. Oh, well, that's the only right answer.
Dale Earnhardt.
Yep.
That guy wins.
Got to do it for Dale. All right. The answer is C, Rodriguez and Bianchi. So Mexican Pedro Rodriguez and Belgian, I can't even say his first name, Lucien Bianchi. They drove car number 1075, which is a GT40.
I was going to say, I thought it was a GT40. I just know who drove it.
Yep, absolutely. They said it was basically performing flawlessly. They had all different kinds of weather during the race. Just pretty cool little trivia, especially when our beloved Pontiac gods, named most of their cars after races. That makes them faster.
Secret answer E.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Bobtail Trucker. Thank you very much. We appreciate the super chat. All right. Oh, look at that. Somebody's born in Joplin. All right, cool. All right, guys. So the Pontiac Grand Prix has an optional 3.8 liter V6 with a supercharger dubbed the GTP, which is what I just drove back from Texas. Awesome. What's the GTP stand for? Is it A, the Gran Turismo package, B, the Grand Touring Performance, C, the General Transit prototype, or it doesn't mean anything? What do you think, Kevin? Probably got one or two of those laying around.
I probably do. I probably got like 13 titles for him too.
Wow, nice.
Do you need some?
He lost the title. I have a copy of the paperwork saying he has a title.
Depending on what year that is.
Make it work.
Maybe we shouldn't say this on a public stream, but I think we can figure something out.
Oh, no, this is not a very well-attended channel at all.
But it's
So we're
still
fine.
recorded.
Oh, yeah, good point.
I paid my taxes, and I love the EPA.
$1.
What a this rich asshole.
All right. We have a lot of different answers, but a lot of people are favoring that B. So it is B, the Grand Touring Performance. They said if you're looking for luxury on a budget, then the GTP, called the Grand Touring Performance, is the car for you. So that little 3.8 liter V6 with a supercharger will get you about 260 horsepower, which is apparently a little more than an Eagle.
A touch.
There we go. Just a smidge. All right, so sticking with Grand Prix, the 1968 French Grand Prix was a Formula One motor race held at whatever that is, because I can't pronounce it. And it was held on July 7th, 1968. But who won that race? A. Pedro Rodriguez, B. John Surtees, C. Jackie Stewart, or D. Jackie Ickx? Now, while that's not a Pontiac thing, it kind of flows with the whole Grand Prix theme.
You know, I don't know the answer to this one, but Stewart would be a good one. I'm just saying.
Might be related, maybe. I don't know.
I better not be a Tony Stewart fan, I hear.
No, it's my last name.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
And I am not related to Tony Stewart.
Yeah, thank God again.
All right.
Although I have met him.
It's not one of the answers, but I think Dalton's got the answer. Stevie Nicks. A lot of people favoring C, a few on B. Let's just see what it is. It is D, Jackie Ickx. He drove a Ferrari Formula One. It was race 6 of 12 in 68 World Championship of Drivers and the 68 International Cup for Formula One manufacturers. All right. Now, we're going to test who's a real Pontiac fan here. In 1977, you could order a luxury edition Pontiac Firebird Esprit package that included Lombard paint blue over blue paint and color-matched aluminum snowflake wheels. What was the package called? Was it A, the Blue Bandit? Oh, you can answer in a minute. B, Skybird, C, Blue Bomber, or D, the Bluebird?
All I know is I have a kid in this chat who better get this right.
I'll be honest, I'd be surprised how many don't get it right.
I don't know. I guess because I know all the special edition ones because they have
Right.
a yellow one, a red one, and a blue one.
We got a few Skybirds. We got a Bluebird. Got a Blue Bomber. Pretty sure. Yeah, got a couple of those actually.
That would have been a legit name, though.
Heck yeah. You know this one, Kevin?
No.
Not a Firebird guy then. I know you've done one.
I did. I sold it immediately after. It was a that car taught me a lot. That was a learner. I'll tell you that much.
Yes.
That was a lesson. Some guy lied out his freaking teeth to me down in Oklahoma, and it wasn't even. It looked like it came out of Minnesota, honestly. So I drove all the way down there for nothing.
Well, the correct answer is B, Skybird. And after this, because this car wasn't just blue on blue, they went as far as matching the interior with either vinyl or velour blue as well. You had a lot of little feminine scroll pinstripe touches.
Would have had a blue motor as well, being in a 403, right?
It has to.
Or were I believe the Oldsmobile 403s were blue.
And then after that, you could get a red bird. And then after that, they made the yellow bird. And it is exactly as unoriginal as it sounds. They literally took the blue, scheme and just made it red. And then they made another one that was yellow.
And the yellow is like the palest, nasty yellow.
Because it's the 70s. All right.
Yeah, but Dodge had cool colors.
I got one for you. What year? No, maybe I want to ask this different. What changed in the Pontiac engine family? Because they only made one engine. They made the Pontiac V8 for the entire existence of Pontiac, and for the ones we care about, like 60s on. And you could have a big journal or a small journal crank and main bearing. But in 1967 was the first year. What was the main change to identify a 67 and later Pontiac 400, 455, 350, etc.? It's in the block. I'll say that.
Is that the one where the starter's now on the block?
Nope.
Oh no, that was 64.
I think he knows
Correct. I'm waiting. I'm gonna let the chat do its thing.
it. What changed? Okay, there's probably a ton, but what is the main
Right.
thing you look at right away and go, oh, that's a 67 onward?
Hunter says it on the block.
It may. It's not. You're not looking at numbers or words. I'll tell you that much. It is a object that is. How do I say this? A number of things on the block has changed. Nope, that's confusing. One object has more than it did before. I give it away too much.
Yeah, you pretty much. Yeah.
I guess I don't know this. I'm really disappointed in myself.
Valve angle, 4-bolt mains, open chambered heads. We got lots of different ideas here.
There are differences, but there's
Bore
one.
spacing.
If you had a bare block with nothing attached to it and no numbers on it at all, and you didn't measure a single thing, there's one very obvious difference on the side of them.
Let's see, casting, water pump, intake, harmonic balancer.
Wow,
Think
about that for a sec.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Well,
this will be a learning. There it is. There it is.
Did I see distributor placement?
It is the freeze plugs in 1960.
That's what I was just getting ready to ask if it was freeze
They went
plugs.
to 3 freeze plugs instead of 2. Everyone learned something here today. So
Absolutely, and that's what we love. We love to, have a little education and a little fun.
That's like
there are a bunch of other stuff, but the freeze plugs are the main one that's very easy to see.
That's like the 400 small block that you can identify it because I think it has 2 and the rest of them have 3.
For sure.
I think the 3. I got to go back to the page I was just looking on, so I know it didn't. The 326 was the only one in 67 that still had 2 plugs because come 68 they were all turned over to their newer engine designs.
You even got Dalton on that.
Yep.
The only reason I knew that was because when I was bored as hell in Iraq, I made a whole book about how to identify engine blocks and heads from just what's laying in front of you at a junkyard. And I never published it, but it's out there somewhere if anyone wants it. Maybe I'll put it on the website someday.
Absolutely. I think it would sell out real quick.
Learned a lot of little knick-knack baseball facts, stuff like that.
Yep. Well, that's it.
Come and get it.
Yep. That's it for our 1 hour. I try to go ahead and end it at an hour, but man, it has been a great evening talking to you, Kevin. I definitely want to be able to do this again.
Absolutely. And, thank you for having me on. I'll have Mook with me next time.
And seriously, if you guys are traveling through, hit me up and I will definitely meet you up.
I think there's going to be a party in Pole Barn's front yard from the looks of it.
So, I will be there if I can, for sure.
Worst case scenario, Dalton, you only got to build. You got to get like enough beer for 160 people. I think you can handle that. It'll
work out just fine. I want to thank everybody who signed up for the membership for the channel and the super chat. Appreciate that. I want to thank Super Clean for their sponsorship of the trivia and just everybody joining in. We appreciate you guys, and we can't wait to see you next week with Dudes with Wrenches.
Another Iowan.
Absolutely. So with that, we will